Chris, that was a remarkable, a long day of Test match cricket with a lot of things to talk about. But sitting here right now, do you think you're going to win the match?
Long day is a good way to put it. It's quite, when you're playing in a day like that, an intense game of Ashes cricket, a day like that, it's quite draining. So, incredible game so far, and I think we can win the game, but I think all three results are still possible, to be honest. I think it's a great game to be a part of. I think when I envisage Test and Ashes cricket as a child, this is what I envisage it being like today, to be honest. So, an amazing game to be part of, and I think, it's pretty much in the balance.
I know the rivalry is intense and all the rest of it, and both teams want to win, but when you witness something like that Steve Smith did today, with the courage that he showed as well as his skill, you have to stand back and respect that even as an opponent, don't you, Chris?
Yeah, of course you do. I think, you want, international cricket, Ashes cricket, Test cricket is played hard and tough, but you still don't wish injury on, anyone, especially on your fellow players, regardless of, the situation of the game. But, it took a serious spell of bowling from Jofra to kind of get Steve out of his bubble, I suppose, because, so far in this series he's been incredible. But, a serious spell of bowling from Jofra, that was serious pace. I'm sure it's incredible to watch. It's incredible to be a part of out there on the field, and thankfully, having seen Steve on the balcony, it looks like he's okay, which is obviously good news.
And just on that, Chris, finally from me, I know back at Edgbaston, all the banter and the booing and stuff was good fun, and I think it was taken in good heart. I know most people applauded Steve Smith when he came back out. A few people did boo. To me, and I think to a lot of people, it seemed inappropriate in that context today.
Yeah, I mean, people are entitled to do as they wish, aren't they? And that's up to them and what they feels necessary, and what they think as a person is right or wrong. But yeah, of course, for Steve to come back out, having been hit the way he was, it does show some courage and character to do that. I think he's been incredible in this series so far, and for us to finally get him out is the most important thing for us. You don't want to see someone get hurt and leave the field. You want to get them out, and thankfully we managed to do that in the end.
Chris, how worried were you all when Steve went down that moment? It looked quite shocking at the time. Yeah,
I mean, I was down at fine leg, so I was right on the boundary at the time. But you kind of get a feel as a player when someone gets hit, whether by the noise more than anything. I wasn't close to the action, so I didn't know exactly, but you could hear that it was more, fleshy around the neck sort of area. And I think when that's the case, you're immediately worried as a player. There was guys that were close to the action. Obviously, Joss being at short leg, he was first. He knew straight away and was straight onto him, to check he was okay, which is obviously, nice to see, because, like I said, you don't wish that on anyone.
And when he got hit on the arm before that, did you think he'd maybe broken his arm?
I don't know. I mean, there's been a lot of people being hit in this game, actually, on arms, flesh, helmets, myself. It is part and parcel of Test cricket. I didn't know at the time where it quite got him on the arm, whether it was this part of the arm or actually on this part of the arm. Obviously being hit here is probably a little bit more dangerous because more likely to get bone than here. So, I didn't immediately think he'd broke his arm at all. I thought he just got one on the arm.
Chris, just wait for the mic. Just pass the mic back to Scott.
Chris, have you ever witnessed a quicker spell of bowling than that one from Jofra after lunch?
Not personally on the field, no. I mean, you see quick bowling around the world, don't you? And there's certain times when there's quick spells. But that was a prolonged spell of fast bowling. I don't know what the average was, but he was up around there every ball. I think the atmosphere in the crowd, you could tell that it was pretty special, because you get a feel for it, and the crowd was certainly behind every ball. You could see that everyone was watching every ball, and pretty special to be a part of. I haven't been on the field where someone's bowled that quick consistently. No, I wouldn't say I have.
Pass the mic to Steph at the back.
Just on Jofra, there's been times when this England team's been crying out for that little bit of extra pace a number of times over the past few years. Can you just talk about what it's like to have him as a weapon in the team, and what you think it could do for the England team over the years to come? I mean, he's lived up to the hype, hasn't he, today?
Yeah, I mean, it certainly saves me coming in and trying to have ball bounces at 82 mile an hour anyway. So it's special to have someone in the team that can bowl that sort of pace. Especially in not necessarily always on wickets that offer a little bit, but on flat wickets where you need something special. It's important you have that something or that point of difference. I think Jofra's showed what he can do today. He's obviously been showing what he can do all summer, but to be able to do that on Test debut and I suppose get people getting their bums off their seats almost, really excited to see him bowl like that is is very special, and it's nice to have a guy like that on your side.
Take a couple more, Andy. Just pass it to Andy.
Right, that over at the end you bowled to Steve. I was wondering, did he seem a bit all over the place to you? I mean, the dismissal was pretty strange.
Well, I mean, I suppose it is strange because he hasn't left any on the stumps all series so far. So, whether he was, obviously he'd just come back out. He, hoyed me over mid-wicket for 1 bounce 4. Whether he was at that point was thinking of, try and get to the 3 figures as quickly as possible, I'm not too sure. But, it's a tough one to answer because, he hasn't, I suppose, left one like that, so far. But, I thought it was just a good piece of bowling.
What was the plan at the start of the day to physically rattle Steve Smith to get him out?
No, it's not. No, I don't think so. We've tried, technically, tried to test his technique on, in every way possible. We feel that we have. We're trying different plans. We've tried, outside off stump. We've tried bowling straight, and then I suppose it's took something special from Jofra to, maybe rattle him a little bit. But I don't think that was, physically, from the start of the day, the intention. But that's the way it works sometimes.
Chris, just the fact that the balls that did hit him, was it just a case of the ball not bouncing as much as he expected it to? Like, was there a lot of inconsistent bounces? You also said that a lot of guys have been hit in this Test match already. Are some balls just not rising enough? Or?
I think maybe a couple of balls have been a bit inconsistent on the wicket. I think in general it's been pretty true, but I think with the slope at Lords that often can have a bit of a factor with coming from pavilion end for right-handed batsmen. You feel like it's always coming at you a little bit. I think as you go through a game, there's always going to be a little bit of invariable bounce, but whether that played a part with Steve, I'm not too sure.